This podcast is brought to you by LaxAllStars, growing the game one podcast at a time. What's going on, everybody out there in the lacrosse world? We had a pretty eventful weekend here in the NLL. I'm back from Cuba. I'm really excited. I loved what Rich put together, and we also have a really amazing guest from STX who's going to be talking about their entire team moving to the PLL. We have a couple of those interviews that we're going to start sprinkling in, giving you guys some insight as to what that means for the league, the MLL, and pretty much the dissemination of that entire organizational structure into two major leagues. Before we do that, obviously we are going to get into the weekly review with Rich Snow. Quick brief recap here. The Warriors pull off an incredible overtime victory versus the Mammoth. The Wings take another L against the Rock. Rochester offense comes alive against Buffalo and ends a 3-game losing streak. And there's a strong start against the Rush, gets the Swarm back into the winning column. And the Bandits might as well just showed up by themselves. That was an absolute domination. Let's take a quick listen from our sponsors and we'll get into the weekly recap. What's going on, LaxAllStars? I'm not a huge football fan. I don't actually even watch the sport, but I do always watch the Super Bowl just because everyone gets around and it's kind of a good time at a party. So, in order to make things interesting, we made a custom Super Bowl twig, and whoever gets closest to the spread of the halftime score will win it. We engraved it with all the teams and the colors, so hope you guys enjoy. Comment below and tag 2 of your friends. Take care. All right, I am back from Cuba.
You are?
I am, and I have news. 1, there's no spicy food in Cuba. I didn't know that. 2, I want to send out some thoughts to. Apparently, a hurricane came through like right after I left. So everyone in Cuba, which was a great trip. I don't know. It's a weird feeling to like leave and then like 3 hours when you're on a plane. Like that's happening in the wake of your exit.
Mm-hmm. You just eating a soft baked cookie in first class, just hoping for the.
My wife got upgraded to first class, and meanwhile, there's like an absolute tragedy in the country. It spoiled my first class experience for sure. But yeah, thoughts go out to them because that was an amazing trip, and it's just a real negative situation over there, obviously. But
you did bring back some lovely treats.
Oh, some cigars?
Yeah, they smell delicious.
Yeah, I got Rich's cigar, which by the way is legal. And everyone who I'm giving them to thinks I like smuggled them in.
Yeah, it sounds cooler, so just let.
Yeah, my dad's like, oh, just bring back a Cuban cigar. I was like, I did in fact. He's like, you mind giving me one? I'm like, you can have one. Like, no, you're allowed to have like a box of 50 and like 4 things of rum.
No,
like,
let him think you're.
Oh, I'm not gonna tell him.
Be cooler.
He doesn't. I don't think he knows what a podcast is. So I don't think
it might be spy lingo.
Yeah, unless this is in print and in a. Unless this is in print in a magazine, I don't think he's going to know. All right, so you got to watch these games. I actually just got to watch the recaps because I got back on Sunday.
Yeah, I kept forgetting. I kept asking you if you saw this, and you were like, no, I didn't, clearly.
Let's talk about Philadelphia. So first and foremost, the team in the wake of the entire incident, which I think you might have touched on while I was gone, I think the response has gotten much better.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think obviously, this has pivoted from a scandal kind of situation to a learning situation, which is where I think it needs to be. Kudos to the community for forcing that into that box because it could have very easily slipped into something else.
Yeah, I enjoyed the, I don't want to say the pressure, but like, I enjoyed the pressure that the community was putting on the situation. Like everybody has to say something and.
No, I think it mediated itself well, and I think there was a lot of people who said a lot of very inspiring things. And I also saw that there was a follow-up response on their Instagram, which I encourage everyone to go check, from one of the defenders who I won't ruin it. Go check that out. I thought it was really well said, really well spoken.
And that's on the Wings Instagram?
It's on the Wings Instagram. Guys, go check it out. I don't even want to give any insight to it, but it was really nice. And the consistency of the message, I think, is important, and hopefully that continues. But what also is continuing is that they can't get a W. Now, I would like to say something. Being that I've always played on the worst lacrosse teams and was also not a very good player on those bad lacrosse teams, I kind of like that they're losing.
You know,
They're easy to cheer for.
No, and that's the thing. Like, yes, they're very like.
All right, yeah.
These losses are hurting. They're starting to hurt my feelings because we're just losing them.
It doesn't measure up.
Please,
anyone,
please don't watch this video.
Anyone who's watching the video, I just picked up a giant roller over the wood shop.
No, it was. I mean, this game was crazy. We went on a run. We were crushing Toronto, and then we just can't. We can't.
It's
do
a closing
full 60.
issue.
We can't. Yeah. Well, not even just a closing. Sometimes it's an opening issue, and we just can't get the team to play the way that we know we can play for the whole game. Like, it'll either be we're not playing for the first quarter, and they'll go on a run that we just can't recover from, or we'll dominate in the whole beginning and then let it go in the fourth. I feel it's like we're watching the Eagles again.
It's like we're watching the Eagles again. All right. Well. By the way, everyone out there, we do have a giveaway going on LaxAllStars for Super Bowl stick. You guys could check out the Instagram on both our @WoodLaxSticks Instagram and the LaxAllStars Instagram for a custom giveaway. Rich actually strung it up with some custom colors.
Cool.
I did some graphic design and did the engraving on it. It's pretty cool. I don't care about football at all. It's just like a blatant exploitation of a different sport that people seem to like. But either way, let's burn through this here. Buffalo Rochester, hit me with the game. What was interesting there?
Oh my goodness. It was exciting. I guess that's what we'll say.
Great review. All right.
No, I mean, Buffalo is an amazing team. I mean, Rochester, clearly is an amazing team too. I guess it didn't work out this time.
That's a terrible review. Let's go Colorado, Vancouver. A little bit closer. You got the Mammoth taking a fall, and let's see here. That actually puts them. That puts them down at the bottom part of their division at this point in time.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. The Mammoth are having a rough go at it this season. I don't want to say they're always. Well, they're always one of my favorites, But I was not expecting it to be this slow of a start. Or I mean, can you even call it a start now? How many games in are we?
I don't know. Is this week 6?
Six, 7 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you're getting to the point where, and we'll get into the actual standings here in a little bit, but you're getting to the point where these teams are starting to formulate themselves.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a strong Swarm. You're seeing a really surprising Seals.
Oh man, yeah, the Seals.
The Seals are really surprising, and I'm
roll.
excited about that. I mean, I wish obviously it was the Wings. I wish it was our expansion team doing that. But like I said, I mean, I'm also cool, like, basically being the Raiders of the NLL.
As long as we're fighting and as long as we're, we're hitting people and not getting dropped with one punch, then we'll be fine.
Well, let's jump forward to Buffalo and New England, which was an absolute slaughterhouse. And we had a 9-point run, if I'm not mistaken. Was that correct? Is that the actual number?
I believe it was. You know me, I'm not
necessarily
a mathematical.
We'll run into the review. I'll pull up the exact stats, but I think that's
man.
impressive.
This game was out of control. I don't really know how to describe it except for that, but I mean, geez.
It was 8-0. It was an 8-0 run, and Buffalo gave up 5. Buffalo gave up separate 5-goal and 6-goal runs to shift the game from a 6-5 in their favor. So, yeah, that's insane. And how many did you say Dane had? If you guys can't tell, obviously I was literally in a foreign country.
Dane had 9 points, I believe.
That's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, he went off. I mean, Ian McKay had a great game too. Yeah, shout out to the big homie. Like, he's moving up to that forward spot. I guess everybody better watch their roster spots.
All right, and we have Georgia Swarm against the Rush.
Oh man, that was a game. It was the Rush had a hard time in this one. It wasn't the best. I mean, it didn't seem like they even got in a rhythm. Georgia kind of just manhandled them.
Well, again, obviously, Georgia has been really performing very well, and that puts them at second in their division. Toronto being first only because they have one less game.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia, I think Georgia had something to prove after that last weekend of
Well, Buffalo, Georgia, and Toronto are basically sitting head to head,
Yeah.
and that, again, that's only because Toronto only has one L, but yeah, they're still one game behind just due to the weird staggering in the beginning of the season.
And honestly though, if these aren't really telling to how the teams have played, because Toronto has just been squeaking by on a lot of their wins. So like, I would say that both Buffalo and Georgia are more dominant in that division play-wise than I would say Toronto is.
All right, well, let's get into the division standings here. Going into, I believe this will be week 8, if that's how you want to measure. But with 7 weeks down, in the Eastern Division, we have Toronto, Georgia, Buffalo, New England, Rochester, and Philadelphia.
We out here.
We're out here. Not doing much out here, but we are.
We are out here.
We're
out here.
Oh, we're out, Rich. We're outside.
It's snowing out.
Yeah, it is. Western Division, San Diego, Saskatchewan, Calgary, Vancouver, and Colorado. I see, you know, what's kind of entertaining is Colorado and Philadelphia are both having like these games where they're very winnable, and their L's are coming by like very little digit spreads. But it's still pretty much anyone. Well, it's not anyone's. It's not Philadelphia or Colorado's game to win, but
you know, I'm not a mathematician, but who knows?
No, I do. You can't have it. Toronto, Georgia, and Buffalo are all pretty much neck and neck in the Eastern Division. All right, guys, give us 1 second here, and we will show you what's coming up, and then we're going to move into our interview with Jake Bernhardt and his move to the PLL.
Oh, exciting.
What's going on, LaxAllStars? I'm not a huge football fan. I don't actually even watch the sport, but I do always watch the Super Bowl just because everyone gets around. It's kind of a good time of the party. So, in order to make things interesting, we made a custom Super Bowl twig, and whoever gets closest to the spread of the halftime score will win it. We engraved it with all the teams and the colors, so hope you guys enjoy. Comment below and tag 2 of your friends. Take care.
All right, so we got a couple we have a lot of exciting games this weekend.
No, just a couple.
Just a few? All right,
Only 2. The rest
you decide which ones are exciting and let us know.
I don't even know.
But starting off the weekend on Friday. Friday's the first, correct? I believe. Yes.
Yep.
First Friday. Saskatchewan is taking on Toronto at 7:30. New England's taking on Georgia at 7:35, and finishing the night up at 8 o'clock. Rochester is taking on Philadelphia. Hopefully, we will get our first win this season. And those are all Eastern Standard Time, just so you know.
All right, so the second night of games, you are looking at Georgia and Rochester, Colorado and Buffalo, both at 7:30. You're going to have to pick the game you want to watch there. And then Vancouver and Calgary is going to be your last game of the weekend. And let's get into the special guest, Jake Bernhardt, and his conversation about moving to the PLL here.
Yeah, we got some hot takes.
Yeah, hot takes. And guys, if you were unaware, all STX is moving, and that's a huge, huge talent pool. Obviously, you're talking about Kyle Harris and Jake Bernhardt. Listen, the list is going to go on, and we have 3 amazing interviews. Let's jump right into it, and welcome back, Jake Bernhardt.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Jake here in the studio, Jake Bernhardt. And we wanted to talk to you a little bit about your recent signing with STX and signing with the PLL.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting times in our sport. I think, our sport's just going to the next level, and with the PLL, and then also I'm grateful to be a part of STX, being a guy with them for a while, but officially, taking it to the next level with the signing, and something that I've, dreamed of with being a guy coming from, from Orlando, Florida, to being where I am now. So I'm really looking forward to this summer.
I gotta say, so this would be like the generic question. This is the vanilla question. What do you think will be different between League A and League B? You're a player. We got you here. This is fresh news that STX is moving to the PLL. And what's your expectation?
I just think, again, just taking this whole thing to just another level, another stratosphere, however you want to put it. I mean, I think...
You talking about competition?
I think just exposure for the game. I mean,
Yeah.
people that currently haven't been involved with lacrosse weren't being attracted to it, and I think now they're going to be attracted to it with, the TV deals and everything that we have, and just it's going to become, hopefully, more of a common thing to talk about, rather than just being like, I have a subscription to this,
You can't grow this sport on a subscription.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the idea of subscriptions after learning more and more about them, but it takes time. I mean, it takes a lot of time, and you just don't know when that's going to be. So hopefully with this NBC deal, it's really just going to take it to, just get there much faster.
I don't think that there's any argument in that.
No, I think the NBC deal is honestly, that in my opinion is one of the biggest things that's going to help grow our sport in recent history. Honestly, just getting that on TV, so it's everywhere, and also there's been different opinions about the tour base, but in my opinion, I was thinking, if you don't have lacrosse in your city, then that's the only way you're going to get some lacrosse in your city. It's like, I think places that have hubs tend to think like, oh, well, I'm not going to get lacrosse, wherever every weekend like I'm used to. But I mean, Philly hasn't had field lacrosse in forever, so honestly, I think it's going to be bringing.
The hell were we? The Liberty Bells or something?
It was the Barrage.
The Barrage?
I believe.
That's such an aggressive name for no reason.
We're an aggressive city.
I think he's right. I mean, yeah, if you could speak on that. So, like, there's not going to be any reason for someone to feel a geographical relevancy to a team. But does that matter if, like, you never had any chance of that anyway?
Honestly, if
like,
your home team isn't your favorite team, does it even matter? There's a lot of people that...
Well, I think, over time, you guys are going to find out there's going to be storylines behind each team and the way teams are structured, and I think it's going to be really exciting for the sport. I think people are going to have opportunities to grow ties to certain teams, and it's going to be really cool with the way that they're doing everything. And when it comes to the tour-based model, I think, the jury, is still out there, but think of it like NASCAR. Think of it like a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an event.
It's an event.
I didn't think of that. NASCAR is a great analogy.
And they sell out those places, and you're just trying to get as many people there that don't get to see it on a weekly basis. Because if NASCAR was in one spot every week, it wouldn't thrive the way it's thriving.
That's a really interesting analogy. I don't think I've actually heard anybody make that analogy outside of...
Well, I can't take credit for that. I mean, that's definitely like Paul or Kyle.
Oh, you should have taken credit. We didn't hear it.
You guys heard him. Full credit being taken for this amazing analogy. Came right off the top of his head at this moment. No, but that's a very interesting, comparison, because I can tell you, I've never been to a NASCAR race, but if there was one around and someone was like, hey, this thing's happening, that is the exact situation in which I would go to a NASCAR race, is be like, yeah, screw it, I got nothing going on Saturday.
Right.
Grab a case of beer and go. I'm assuming that's what they do. That's what they literally show it on TV. But in this circumstance, I heard there's going to be like a festival and this and that.
I mean, and you get all the games.
You get all the games.
Yeah, and that's going to be the most exciting part, is that the games, the way they're going to be kind of structured, there's going to be some rule changes. It's going to be different than what you kind of see for the way lacrosse has been played the past, however many years. Games are going to be a little bit shorter, so it's hopefully going to grasp the spectator's attention a little bit longer, so you can watch 3 games in one day, because it is going to be a little bit of a longer event, but it's going to be exciting because you're going to have different people on the field, within the next 4 or 5 hours that you're there. I mean, what else can you ask for?
Nothing really.
No, I'm actually, it's funny, I was already excited, but now I'm even more excited, and it's not here soon enough.
Yeah, you are stoked.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, this is a good year for you.
Yeah,
you got Philly lacrosse back.
It's a really good year. It's a really good year of lacrosse for me.
All right, my last question, and then we'll let you go, is, there is a massive funnel of talent that is just going right into the PLL. Is there going to be any quality play for the MLL left? Because that's going to have a void.
I mean, it's definitely going to have a void, but as you guys know, there's so many good players out there that haven't been able to play at that next level or just given an opportunity, and that's what it takes only one chance, for a guy to become the next superstar. And I think having 2 leagues is a good thing for our sport. And I think people will disagree with me on that to a certain point, because
everyone's gonna have an opinion.
I agree completely. More league, more opportunity.
Right. I mean, like I said, there's going to be guys that you just never didn't get a chance because they were given 2 weeks of training camp in MLL in years prior. That just weren't able to crack a lineup, and maybe they weren't practice guys. Maybe when they go and play, they turn it on. And I think just giving guys opportunities is going to just hopefully make this thing flourish in both leagues.
I think if you got, and this is a prediction. This is a Justin Skaggs prediction. All right.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. You got all the talent going from League A to League B. League B is built to cultivate that talent as its main focus. League B obviously being the PLL. And then you're going to have the Legacy League of the MLL trying to fill all these spots and trying to get all this talent back. They're not likely to change their monetary situation with the players. You might find yourself in a situation where you now have an A League and a B League, where you have a, kind of like a AAA baseball thing going on to some effect. But in a weird situation, there's going to be more teams in the AAA baseball, which I guess is actually pretty similar. So I don't know. I think that's the guy on top of the mountain, man. Like he's going to stay there.
So yeah. So what you're saying is basically.
Did I do a bad job of saying that? Like,
no. I think maybe the.
Hey Rich, take the lumps out of what I just said.
Confused, but so basically what you're saying is the PLL is going to attract the top level talent, and basically as I guess to say the MLL is cultivating athletes, they might move up to the PLL.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. Why do I think that? It just freaking happened.
I think it's too early to tell.
I don't know. Every SDX athlete just moved, and you guys have some serious hitters.
Yeah,
And then I got to tell you, I want to see you guys play the other people.
I think eventually it's gonna establish that type of want 2 leagues coming.
Well, you're
together.
Switzerland, and I'm over here just scorching the earth.
Listen, I'm dreaming maybe one day we get a league versus league.
We could have a league every month. New league every month. How do you feel about it? You guys can come down to the PLL, watch me and Rich just fall all over us.
That's what football's doing now. You see Ricky Williams and Terrell Owens came out with their own league. Everyone's coming out with a league.
Hey. We got the Philadelphia Soul or something owned by Bon Jovi. We got some whack teams in this city.
That's arena football.
Arena football is exciting.
Absolutely.
Arena football is super exciting.
I wouldn't know, but if I had a free Saturday, I'd either watch NASCAR or arena football. But maybe I'll go to the PLL.
Hey, I'm definitely going to the PLL.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming in and shedding some light on this, and good luck, man. This is going to be awesome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
All right, guys. As always, thank you very much to our editor, Joseph Snow, that makes us look and sound better than we really are. As well, Frank Stanley from Track 13 Records for all of our music. Again, thanks for not charging us any money, buddy. And STX for sponsoring this podcast, and LaxAllStars, grow the game. Till next time, take care. Keep laxing.